In this tutorial series, we'll be going through MetaSounds node by node for the Unreal Engine, learning how to go from beginner to complicated in game-driven sounds and procedurally generated music.
Hello, today we're going to talk about how to create inputs, specifically a float input for MetaSounds. So in the previous tutorials, we've already covered creating a MetaSound and things like that. So we've already created a MetaSound. This one's called in and out. Now for the in and out MetaSound, we're going to create an input, and I'm going to hit plus over here on this members tab. There are inputs and outputs. If you hit plus on the input or output, you can create an input or output. We're focusing on inputs here, and you can see it already kind of pre-chose one for me. It decided it was going to be a float. It happened to guess right. We're going to show how to change it if it doesn't. But I'm going to go ahead and name this input FREQ for frequency. So you can see down here in the details panel, this input now has the name FREQ, and that's important because we're going to access it by its name. So that you'll need to have an exact stream comparison for that to work. So you'll need to make sure that this is what you're typing later is exactly this. So if something messes up, it's probably going to be your input name. But you can change the type. There's all sorts of different types, including bool and audio and trigger. But we are even strings. But we are going to do a float input. But all the inputs work in a very similar way. We're going to drag this new input we created off from the members tab to the graph. And you can see it comes with a widget. We're going to connect it up here. And now we can control the frequency of this sine wave through this widget. So without it, if you listen, it'll just play the frequency hard set, which is an A. But if we plug this in, you can see that the range of the knob is actually set 0 to 1. So we're going to change this to something more audible. We're going to change it to 100 to 500. However, this will only apply for the widget. It can be overridden when you use real world numbers, as you'll see in a minute. But here now when we play it, I can test out what these inputs are going to be. And I can do it with a different kind of knob too, and in a different orientation. And all of those details are set here at the bottom. But they work the same way. So now this is all we need to do for creating input is just create one, set up the details that we want, put it on the graph, and plug it in a way that will be helpful for what we're trying to do. Now, if we go back to the main map, you can see I have an actor. This actor is just named actor because it's kind of our just example actor, and it is existing in this world, okay? It's already drug in. So when I hit play, this actor will start doing its thing. So inside of this actor event graph, you can see I have event tick hooked up to get the mouse position and to print its Y position to a keyed print string. And there you'll see I have a whole range from about 1,000 and something at the bottom to 16 at the top. That would be extremely low frequency and extremely high frequency, but it will be a great example for how you can dynamically control these inputs at runtime. So inside of this actor, on event begin play, we're going to spawn the sound. So when we spawn a sound, this is the simple spawn sound 2D node that you'd always use. It doesn't have to be 2D, but this is what we're using for this example. And I've selected the in and out MetaSound. So the in and out MetaSound is what is going to be spawned. And I'm going to right click and promote this to a variable. And I'm going to name this the name of the variable that I know it needs to be. So now I can reference this later after event begin play. And so what we need to do here is we need to set the value of the float at runtime. Now the way you do this is once you have a reference to your MetaSound, you can find a way to do things like you could trigger, execute a trigger parameter, things like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to set a float parameter which you can see the target is the audio parameter controller interface, which is what I have right here. And when I hook this up to it, it now knows what interface it's going to do. You can see in the name here, I've typed FREQ. That's because over here, that's to exactly match the input name that I'm trying to target. Like I said, it does a string lookup. And when I do this, I'm going to go ahead and just connect the Y input directly into the float. So we're just going to feed in what this float's going to be. It's just going to feed in directly from the mouse input on tick. Now, as just a general Unreal thing, whenever you do something like this on tick, there's a chance that it could try to fire and it's not valid. That doesn't have anything to do with MetaSounds, has more to do with just Unreal in general. So let's go to the map and let's see what happens when I hit play. There we go. It's that simple. Now you can do this with any kind of input, any kind of float at any time. You can destroy the MetaSound, stop the MetaSound, whatever, through these kinds of inputs. We're going to talk more about them in future tutorials, but that is how to set a float parameter at runtime with your MetaSound from an input trigger from an input value that you've created.
This tutorial series is brought to you by my MetaSound Starter Pack. If you're looking for more complicated examples on how to utilize procedurally generated music and game-driven sounds inside of your projects, you might want to give it a look. More details in the description below. This is Space Dodo, where we talk about games and game development.